G'day to everyone. Well, today I've returned yet again to the historic farm I've been coming back to now for a few years to try some detecting, and this year I've been especially keen to return as I've got my fairly new Equinox 800, and I'm just wanting to see if we can find any coins and good stuff that the other detectors I've used here have left behind. And I'm looking over there and it looks as though I've got a bit of an audience checking me out to see what I'm up to. First up, I'm trying under some trees where I've previously found lots of coins, as this is a place where the crowd stood to watch the football on the oval, which was right next door to here. And I soon found out that the numbers 12, 13, 14 usually resulted in a bullet shell or a button. Now this signal was a bit dodgy, but down there I see a penny. It's one of the old Commonwealth of Australia pennies. And on this side you can still see the newish copper colour. That's a good start, I suppose. And here's a button. Possibly the first of many. And the Equinox fell for the old good signal from the loop bit of rusty wire trick. Oh well, all detectors seem to do that. And this looks like today's first bit of silver. A little shiny threepence. Equinox seems to love these little threepences. I've never found so many since I've had it. Some good numbers here. And this looks like another penny. Looks like an English penny this time. Probably from the very early 1900s, I say, before we made our own coins. And I reckon that'd be Edward VII on the other side. Aha! Some more silver. A shilling this time. Looks like one of the early Australian ones. 19 something. Can't quite make it out. Always good to find these. It's in here somewhere. Another little threepence. I'm finding all these coins under these trees in amongst all the sticks. Obviously there was a lot more here years ago, so I've skirted around this area with my old E-track. But now it's all rotted down and or disappeared, and yeah, here's another threepence. Looks like a 1911, one of the early ones. Yep, more good numbers here. And yet more small silver. This is another threepence, one of the later ones, 1944 by the looks of it. And right next to this stick here, another penny. It's going to need a good clean up before I can see what that is. And yes, another penny. And just for something different, here's a brace buckle. And another buckle, or part of it anyhow. Well, it's turned out to be a really nice day here. Nice and mild and calm. A really great late autumn day. And here's another button. This one says Commonwealth on it. I can't say I've found one of these before. Something a bit different. And just moving away from the trees, here's another penny. This looks like a kangaroo penny this time. I thought I'd done this area pretty well with my E-track years ago, but surprising what you can miss. And from the same hole I got another signal. And under here there could be something. Yes, it's another penny. It's the older type this time. And here's today's first musket ball. I found quite a few of these on this property over the years. Now I've moved spots to a different area that was fairly productive for me a year or two back with some really old coins. I got a low signal and I dug this. First of all I thought it was a coin, but no, sure enough it's just a button. And I've got another button type signal here, about 14 on the Equinox, and yeah, this is something a bit different. It's a bigger button with a design on it. That'll be interesting to get cleaned up and see what it is. Going back to my old bottle collecting days, I recognise this as a pig snout topped from a square case gin bottle. It's very crudely made, so it's probably fairly old. But the real reason I dug here is this, a little silver coin. I'm hoping for something old, considering some of the coins I found in this area earlier. It's another Australian threepence, 1924. Ah well. Now here's a small brass or copper ring. Too small to be a finger ring, so I'm not really sure what that could be from. Now I've moved to an area where there's a few stones, and there used to be an old building. And in amongst all the rubble and nails and bits of pottery, here's an old spoon. There's just so much iron and rubbish in the ground here. I'm afraid the Equinox was just overwhelmed and I was only getting chopped and clipped signals. But once I moved away from this small area it was okay. And right next to one of those stones here's a large lead weight or something that looks as though it was moulded out of half an egg. It's got a hook in it, so I'm not sure what that could have been from. Just an interesting artefact, I suppose. Well, the afternoon's getting on now, and with the kookaburras laughing at me, I suppose it's about time for me to head for home. Okay, on to a closer look at the finds, and here's today's collection of buttons. And this small ring has some bumps on the outside of it, as though it was meant to be turned. I still don't know what it could have been from. Onto the coins, 6 pennies today, 1907 English penny, and the rest are Australian pennies with various dates from 1920 to 1942. 7 silver coins, a 1916 shilling, and the rest are threepences dated from 1911 to 1948. And on to what I reckon is today's most interesting find, this big button, which turned out to be a hunting button with a nice dog's head on it. And on the back is written New Designs 1842 with some strange pattern underneath it, which I really can't make out what it is. I don't know if this button actually dates from 1842, but I dare say it's probably a lot older than any of the coins I found today anyhow. So with 13 coins for today, that nice button and some other bits and pieces, I've had a pretty good day really. So hopefully I can get back there another time again and have another go at it. Okay, Well, that's about all for now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll say goodbye.